Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the West Ham Network. I hope you are safe and well as per usual. But I thought I'd just come on because I don't really had my say, but I'm excited and I'm buzzing, and it's a very, very good signing that I think has a knock-on effect for West Ham. We can talk about it in a second, but Fabrizio Romano, literally in the last minute or so, has released this image, this exclusive image. He must have some communications with Mr. Tim Steidten, the King Steidten, I'm going to start calling him. And he's released this image here of him and Todibo coming back on the plane. Tim's at the wheel. Tim's gone over to France and just convinced this geezer that he needs to come to West Ham. West Ham that haven't qualified for any European football, but to believe in the project, and he must just work absolute wonders. He must just work absolute wonders. Honestly, I was talking to Russ earlier on today, and I was saying that in life, as a West Ham fan, there's moments when you sign players that you remember exactly where you are at that moment. I was talking about, you can go as far back. I could go far back as like Julian Dix, for example. And usually it's related to a player that has got an element of excitement, or maybe West Ham sign that they shouldn't sign, if that makes any sense. I'm not saying Julian Dix just as such, but I'll say like Carlos Tevez and Mascherano. If I ask you where you were when West Ham brought those two players into the club at the time, no man, forgetting the circumstances of how they came into the club, but when they came into the club, where were you? And I remember exactly where I was. I also remember when West Ham signed Kudus in the more recent years, because our West Ham Network chat was going off in one, and literally day in and day out, there was changes left, right, and centre. We were going to sign him, we weren't going to sign him. We were going to sign him, and then we weren't going to sign him. And it was relentless like that for about a solid week or two before we actually just, when you thought it was all dead and buried, and we brought the quality player in. Of course, he went and scored a hat-trick for Ajax before leaving the club and coming to join West Ham because Tim Steidten convinced him to come to West Ham, and Tim's done it again. And honestly, if you're led to believe that that everything is true from what we've heard, then he wasn't coming to West Ham. He had no intentions of coming to West Ham. He was holding out for Juventus, and West Ham was not his priority. But obviously, Juventus didn't put the money up, didn't put their money where their mouth was. They had agreed with the player, but not agreed with the club. And to be honest with you, I expected that. I didn't expect Juventus to complete the deal for Todibo, because the Italian clubs have a history of doing that. And the biggest issue I felt then at that point was, do West Ham really want a player who doesn't want to come to the club? But then again, if some form of negotiations had taken place with the club, then it meant that we had the right to go and talk to the player. And who are you going to send? None other than Tim Steidten. Tim Steidten must be just, I don't know what the fuck he has said to Todibo to convince him to come to this club, especially convince him to come to a club when we don't have European football. And it's a big, do you know what? It's a big ask. It really is. Don't underestimate this, either. And I'm not saying you are, but it's a massive ask for a player of his standard to come to a club like West Ham when we don't have European football. But what we're building in terms of what we've got and what we're adding and filling those positions that we've been needing for so long is exciting. It really is. It's an exciting transfer window. And what also is exciting is the fact that we've got real quality in nice and early. Todibo still in, at least he's in before the season starts. He's been in full pre-season. And, there's going to be some changes happening around West Ham's first team. And these are the sort of players, ball-playing defenders, that can really add massive value to West Ham. My word, a huge amount of value to West Ham. And also what it does do, and this is something else I want to bring up as well, and maybe you've crossed it on other shows or on channels, etc., but the importance of this signing, the importance to add to the collection of signings, it's a bit like a snowball effect. And what I mean by that is that if you're a player looking in from the outside and you're linked to West Ham, then I've said all along that it'd be a tough sell for West Ham to bring players in, especially when you don't have European football. But once you get one or two in, once you convince one or two to come over the line, then it starts to become that snowball effect. And I'm telling you now, if Wan-Bissaka is looking at West Ham right now, and we've heard through the grapevine he wants to come to West Ham, then you want to come to West Ham. And I think bringing in the quality that West Ham have in this transfer window has maybe led to the reasoning for Todibo coming in. And if West Ham go into the market again and start looking at the kind of high level, high end player, then I genuinely think they will look at West Ham as a real, genuine option because they'll believe the project. They'll believe, this season under the new style of management or head coach, etc., will work. On the flip side, or on the equal side, I should say, I'm buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing. Who wouldn't be buzzing? But I'm also mindful of the fact that this is going to be a whole new system and a whole new setup and not a whole new team as such, but and I'm quietly confident about the season, but I'm also absolutely willing to give it time, to bed in, because we all know Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's going to take a little bit of time to get things working. And fingers crossed we can hit the ground running. How good would it be if we could hit the ground running? And I think what's really interesting is we've got a strong core, strongish core, I should say, apart from our defence. Now we do, but it's exciting. It really, really is exciting. So let me jump through some of the comments and see what you're saying. Let me have a look here. Waiting, love Tim and his jet. Absolutely, Dominic. It's time. It really is very cool. Is an understated as well. Toby, I know, mate. I was literally going to bed. I was coming through and closing the computer down as I just quickly thought, I'll just check in with Fabman. 37 seconds, I caught it. And I thought, I'll just come on and give that. You want to see that image, don't you? You absolutely want to see that image. Good evening, all you beautiful people from Howard. Good to see you. Reese is in the house. Good to see you, my man. Hope you're well. You're all talking to each other. Love the photos. So do I. It's amazing. Tim Steiden has absolutely experience. He does, mate. Because honestly, like, I love the way he dresses. I love the way he acts. I was fortunate enough to meet him, and he's such a nice guy. I think he's impressionable. He's really impressionable, and he's really important to the direction of the way the West Ham are moving in. And yeah, huge, big, bold statement this signing is. We are smashing this window, absolutely. Tim versus Mr. Moyes, no comparison. Here's Weez goals again. Come on, you irons. Hey, all King Steiden, that's who I'm calling him. Tim's the man. What a transfer window, absolutely. And we were talking earlier on in the West Ham Network chat saying that it's going to be a quiet deadline day. And I said, well, funny enough, I don't think it's going to be a quiet deadline day. I think it might be a busy deadline day for outgoings from the club. But equally, though, it could be 3 or 4 outgoings from the club and maybe 1 incoming come the deadline day. But it looks like we're doing business early. That's the main thing. Steiden Airways, it really fucking is, man, isn't it? Steiden is God. I almost can't believe it. The guy has a proper pedigree, best defender in the league in. Gone are the days of dodgy Dave. We've gone from Maguire and McTominay for years to all of these lot. And what's interesting is we've gone from McTominay and Maguire, whom apparently Juventus were sniffing around knowing that we're missing out on Todibo. The business is financially sound as well. Absolutely glorious news, peeps. But I'm going back to bed. See you all tomorrow. Good to see you, Toby. Thank you for joining me, mate. Thanks for having brought Tom in. We would still be waiting for Slabhead McTominay. And what's amazing about this one is when they send us all up the garden path that Todibo's not happening. It was not happening. To then bang, Tim's over in France, bringing him home on a plane. He's literally just flown over there with that confidence, swooped him off his feet, put him on that jet plane, and brought him home. And look at this smile. You can't fault that. You cannot fault that. Love it. Wow. So many more comments for me to come through, so let me just jump on them. Where are we? Titan is God. Where are we? Someone once said if Tim builds it, I will come. Depends on what you mean by that last word. I hope your spelling is wrong, unless that's what you're talking about. Hi, only thing I have to say is I believe he is a Manchester United player when I see him on the pitch, on a substitute bench wearing a Manchester United colours. Who agrees with me? I have no idea what you're talking about, mate. I didn't even read your comment. I probably wouldn't have put it up because it doesn't make sense. 9 in the morning for you, Zaki. Absolutely. Are we better? Are we better than last year? Yes. So 9th to 7th should be achievable. 9th to 6th, yes, could be. Yeah, but you can sign all the players under the sun, but you need to bed in. And I do believe there's an element of bedding in. I don't agree with some. I've seen some of the starting 11s. I watched Gates's show, and I've seen some people talking about the starting 11, and a couple of people had said like they wanted to bed in some of the new players, but I always think of Scamacca. I always think of the treatment in terms of not starting games from the off. And you look at all other clubs around the Premier League, and when they get a new signing, they just put them in from the off. What better way to learn your trade but from playing games from the off? So as long as you're fit and as long as you understand the tactics, you need to play. Now just need to replace Corney with Wesley to give us depth, future value. Says he's signing in 20 minutes. Let me see what he is saying. What do you mean signing in 20 minutes? They won't put a post out tonight. They will not put a post out tonight about that. They absolutely wouldn't. So it'll probably be tomorrow morning. I would expect the official announcement. Let me see here. This is live, so this is what you get when you come live, isn't it? And Florian Plettenberg is, he's going to be signing in 20 minutes. That doesn't make sense. Signing in 20 minutes. Don't know what he means by that. Anyway, if you look on YouTube, it says 5 days ago Manchester have signed. Why? I don't know what you're saying. This is not a Manchester United page, mate. Announcement is apparently 20 minutes according to him. It can't be in 20 minutes. I'll stay on just in case. I really want to go to bed early, but it doesn't happen. In Tim, we trust. I think we generally have a top 4 squad. Can we make the moment to appreciate Sullivan's spending this season? Do you know what? I will always struggle to give them credit. I will. But I have to live and learn by the rules of life. And in terms of the deals that we've done this summer, in terms of the money that's been invested this summer, I can thank them for that, but that only. That comes to the consequences, though, and I'm sorry to be a negative Nancy, but I don't really care. But the concession stuff that they've done at the club is disgusting. I say it with gritted teeth about Sullivan, and I'm sorry, I do. I can't shake it. I can't shake my feeling about him at all. It's because it hurts me to the core about the way I feel about the owners. So the concession thing was the final kind of tipping over the edge, and I was already tipped over the edge anyway. So I can't forgive that. Cannot forgive that. Final point here before I try and jump. Good behind the scenes chairman. What? We have a good behind the scenes chairman. All that never happened for decades. Right. So again, it's another big comment in terms of our owners. You know, I'm happy they sit back now. I'm absolutely happy they do sit back, but I don't know. Maybe it's time for another show for that one. I'm sure there'll be a few bumps in the road, but quietly confident of Europe again. Seriously, can't believe this signing. Getting rid of Moyes was Stein's best decision, to be honest. YouTube user, hopefully John Duran in before the end of the window for Craig should have been most. I just honestly, I'm not hold. I still think John Duran is an option. I genuinely do as well. I do agree that he might be coming into the club. Yeah, I came for the jet shots. I wonder if Tim could go for Yusuf Fofana if he convinced Todibo, then he could convince him. Well, yeah, I had this chat with everyone earlier on. It could be part of the bigger mix, but we signed Rodriguez, and apparently we're in talks or had some, correspondence with Fofana. The Fofana thing's gone quiet, as did Todibo, to be honest, and apparently Manchester United are interested, but they're taking a long time. So I don't really know, and the only thing is, if we were to go for Fofana, I think someone would have to leave in that area, and the only player I could think of would leave him would be Souček, and I don't think that's going to happen. So I don't know. This signing is a statement, absolutely. How many of us would fully admit that they had real faith in that we're capable of this amount of quality within 2 years? Not a single one of us. If you're Kudos, you're thinking, you're sounding me with quality. Absolutely. No wonder. Let's for Circus now more like a well-run professional corporation. But I think that's also led to, okay, the board have brought in Tim Steidten, and I think Mark Noble's really got, controlling the puppet. He's like a puppeteer and controlling all those strings with Tim. And I think they're keeping I think having that kind of level of you've got to get through a level to get to the next level. And you can't get to the players, you can't get to the coach. And to get to the coach, you have to go through Mark Noble, you have to go through Tim Steidten, and to get to the players and all that sort of stuff. So I feel like there's that part is working. That's what I feel like it could be working, and hopefully long may it continue. This mega spend is because the board is already a deal in place for Liverpool for Kudus. Don't know. Might be, might not be, but hopefully not. Not. It won't be for now anyway. Our business lines up really nicely. And sorry, go back to this comment. I think that it's all up for grabs if we don't qualify for Europe next year. It's a big deal. There'll be some form of probably caveats in people's contracts to state that if West Ham don't qualify for Europe, then players like Mo Kudus will probably look to move on. So we need to do something this year. We definitely do. Our business lined up really nicely for a big forward signing next year. Mickey and Ings, contracts expiring, a combined wage will be available for a young forward to pair with Fulkrug. I don't think both of them. I think one of those two will be gone. I think it'll be Danny Ings. I don't think he'll be with the club. I don't see how he fits in. Don't think he'll be there. It's going to take quite a big chunk of the season to adjust to Lopez tactics. Rome wasn't built in a day. Everyone loves to slag off the owners on board, but what a fantastic job they've done supporting the new manager. Yeah, they have. Tim Steidten is already a legend at West Ham. Even Sullivan, dare I say this, deserves a bit of credit. Well done to West Ham. We're all finally being a club running structurally sound, financially, and also harmoniously. Not often a club can say that. They will put out the post out tonight as a view to them. I mean, maybe they would. Maybe they would go. Maybe they would go wild and put the post out. I don't know. I just can't see them doing it tonight. I think they would want maximum impact, but maybe it would be maximum impact. Maybe it would be now the fact that Fabrizio Romano's put the bloody post out. Maybe that's why. So I don't know. Maybe we do. We just need time to gel and a little patience. And Tim is freaking amazing. Tim has done such a good job that even Lopetegui cocks up a big time. We still have the squad capable of attracting good managers and achieving so much. It's a valid point. It is a valid point. Starting 11, Areola, Killen, Todibo, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, hopefully Emerson, Alvarez, Pack, Bowen, Kudus, and the Fulk. Man, madness. The game tomorrow isn't being televised or streamed anywhere. Am I correct? It might be on the West Ham website. I haven't checked that out yet. How about the starting 11? No, absolutely. A transfer window we won't forget in the Premier League will fear. I don't know. Jay, you're on the wrong stream, mate. We're not Manchester United. We are West Ham. Has he actually signed yet? Rumours are Juve are still trying to work with Todibo's team to get him to change his mind. Hope it's more bullshit. So there was stuff saying that they were. But I think once he completed his second medical, and I think the fact that it was in London was never really going to be a concern. So I'm assuming he's signed. I can only make the assumption he's signed. I'm so confident in Tim's ability. I'm sure he could fly it and bring. Oh Jesus, I can't. The Premier League is terrified of Steins on fire. You're right, mate. I don't care who we get. Our best signing will always be Tim. It will. Tim should be given freedom of Stratford with all the players he has got. Schumann next year. Do you know what? No one's off the radar. No one's off the radar for him. Honestly, I think he could just fucking convince literally anything to happen. Literally anything to happen. Just double checking something here. Sorry. Bowen is still going to want goals and placing centre forward, so coming inside. A lot of tactics around overlap, which isn't is interesting, absolutely. Next year we'll be here in the Champions League football from Russie B. Could you imagine? I think so, on the basis though that my wife gets back. She's currently in London and she is not currently in London. She's back on the train on the way back up just now. So as long as she's not back too late and the kids are all okay, then yeah, I'll be doing one, mate. Absolutely. If we can win a European Cup with the team we had, then what the hell could this team achieve once they gel? I've never been this buzzing in 40 years. Seeing as how well this window's gone, how much do you think Tim is worth if we have a big club came in? He's so valuable to any club now. Oh God, man, look at his little black book of transfers and players that he's brought in. Absolutely mental. Absolutely mental. I've never had ever transfer windows like this on Football Manager, and even then, this is better than most. Never been more excited for a season in my life. There you go. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to love yous and leave yous. I just thought I'd bring you that image. Fabrizio Romano shares his exclusive image of Jean-Clair Todibo, French international, joining our wonderful club, West Ham. It's not officially announced, but it's looking good. It is looking good. Just to sign off the show, let me show you this picture one more time. There he is on a jet plane, Tim Steidten Airways. I'd like to fly with that airline company. So thanks for watching, everyone. Of course, as per usual, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and leave a comment. Thank you for watching, and join us over the next couple of days because it's going to be manic. Come on, you Irons.